Hello everyone and welcome back to official channel of Law Prep Tutorial. I am Ritu Sood. Today we are going to talk about last minute strategy of dealing with CR. Now when you talk about CR, one very important thing that you need to remember is while solving CR passages and questions, you have to be completely attentive and completely calm. If your mind is distracted, take a deep breath, inhale, exhale, and try to bring your brain in composed state where you are completely in your composure. एकदम शांत दिमाग है आप लोगों का, because now this is the time where you need to understand and you need to play with your strength and you need to identify those questions that you are able to do and leave those questions which you are not able to do. Now, when you talk about critical reasoning, you might have observed that there are passages and then questions, and majority of the times when you start passage, you start reading with a very quick speed, believing कि तेजी से पढ़ के पैसेज जल्दी पैसेज सॉल्व करके अगले सेक्शन पे मूव करना है. Now, that is one of the biggest mistakes that any of the student might do while solving the passages. एक चीज़ आपको हमेशा याद रखनी है कि जब आप पैसेज सॉल्व कर रहे हैं उस वक्त आपका दिमाग एकदम कंपोज्ड होना चाहिए, शांत होना चाहिए. एंड जब आप पढ़ना स्टार्ट कर रहे हैं हमेशा याद रखिए इनिशियल फ्यू लाइन्स शुड बी वेरी स्लो. दैट मीन्स जब इनिशियल 2-3 लाइन आप पढ़ रहे हैं यू शुड रीड दोज 2-3 लाइन्स स्लोली in composed manner, grasping meaning, trying to figure out topic, trying to understand what author is probably willing to say and what probably author will say ahead. इसको हम थोड़ा सा करके देखते हैं, then we'll talk about how to proceed and how to deal with tricky questions. Like if you have observed past year paper CLAT का, majority of the questions revolve around central idea, strengthening argument, weakening argument, most likely to agree, disagree, true or false. Even assumption questions are also on the lower side, but you cannot simply ignore those questions because assumption plays very crucial role in strengthening and weakening argument. तो आप जब पैसेज स्टार्ट कर रहे हैं और स्लोली स्टार्ट कर रहे हैं देन यू नीड टू चेंज योर स्पीड इन बिटवीन ऑफ द पैसेज व्हेन यू आर एबल टू ग्रास्प कि पैसेज क्या बोल रहा है, किस टॉपिक के बारे में है. देन यू नीड टू कनेक्ट इट विथ अदर पार्ट्स एंड एज सुन एज यू रियलाइज कि अच्छा ये वाला पार्ट जो है दैट इज मियर एक्सटेंशन एग्जाम्पल, तो हम उसको क्विक रीडिंग कर सकते हैं. बट सबसे सिंपलेस्ट स्ट्रैटेजी टू डील एवरी टाइप ऑफ क्वेश्चन इन क्रिटिकल रीजनिंग इज टू अंडरस्टैंड द की आइडिया और पर्पस ऑफ ऑथर. सेकेंड इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग दैट वी नीड टू डू इज try to understand the question stem well, and before jumping to answer options your question frame should be very clear. आपको क्या पूछ रहा है and what kind of answer option you are looking for. That is known as creating shadow answers. एक छोटा सा पैसेज करके देखते हैं जो past year CLAT से ही उठाया है so that you can understand how to deal with strengthening, weakening, central idea, inference questions, right? Here goes our first passage, right? The passage says one of the most important challenges for Indian diplomacy in the subcontinent is to persuade its neighbors that India is an opportunity, not a threat. Now, this is something which is very important because here the author is emphasizing important challenges, right? That means India has to persuade its neighbor that India is an opportunity, not a threat. Further, it says, far from feeling in any way besieged by India, they should be able to see it as offering access to a vast market and to a dynamic growing economy which would provide their own economies with far greater opportunities than more distant partners or even their own domestic markets could provide. This would go beyond the economic benefits as David Malone argues. Now, this is again important because from here to here, it is nothing but the explanation or elaboration of the first line. Then it says economic cooperation represents the easiest sell to various constituencies within the countries of the region. Were this to prove successful cooperation on more divisive and sensitive issues such as terrorism, separatism, insurgency, religious fundamentalism, and ethnic strife could be attempted with greater chances of success. Now, what my author is trying to say, that if India is able to present itself as an opportunity, it will not mere help India economically, but also diplomatically in international arena. Now, winds of change are blowing in South Asia. There is a definite consolidation of democracy in all the countries of the region, every one of which has held elections within the last 3 years. Some of our neighbors have made significant strides in surmounting internal conflicts, and others are in the process of doing so. If India has to fulfill its potential in the world, we have no choice but to live in peace with our neighbors in mutual security, harmony, and cooperation. Now, this last line is again emphasizing the first or reiteration of the first line, that India needs to make peace and harmony with its neighbors. Just as Nehru left Robert Frost's immortal lines, "Miles to go before I sleep," on his bedside table when he died, Shastri kept some lines of the founder of Sikh faith, Guru Nanak, on his desk. When translated into English, they read, "O Nanak, be tiny like the grass, for the other plants will wither away, but grass will remain evergreen." Shastri was seen by many Indians of exalted ambition as a tiny man, but he had the mind and heart of a giant. His vision of peaceful coexistence with our neighbors. Now look, again author is trying to come back to same thing. Through adopting the demeanor that modesty and the freshness of grass may well be the best way for India to ensure that its dreams remains evergreen in its own backyard. Now, if we have read the passage, one thing is very clear, that author is of the view that India must have a good relationship which is harmonious, which supports India's growth if India wants to raise its stature or situation or position high in global arena. Now, here goes our first question. Which of the following is the central theme of the above passage? Since when we read the passage, we were able to highlight those important lines which we felt are of crucial importance, and we also summarize it in our brain before moving to question. This question will be cakewalk for us. Now, whenever we go to central idea, main idea, primary purpose, there are certain things that we need to eliminate. What are the things that we need to eliminate? The first thing that we need to eliminate is extreme option. What are the extreme options? The extreme options are those options which have only, always, never, each time, most, all kind of words, because author is writing the passage to convince you, not to compel you. So probably author is not going to use these kind of words in central idea or main idea per se. Second option that should be eliminated is too generic option. Too generic option is a broad option which will include the topic and so many other things beside the topic. So we need to also define the scope of the passage. Third is too specific. Too specific is something which has been discussed in the passage but is one part of the passage, not the entire passage, is not making the central idea of the passage. For example, here author talked about Mr. Nehru, he talked about Mr. Shastri, right? But they are mere part of the passage, but not the key idea. These things are being used to support the passage, right? And of course, something that is out of passage. Right? So, let's have a glance upon the question. The objective of attaining peaceful coexistence and cooperation with the neighbors. Dominance of India over its neighboring countries. Definitely, author is not of the view of having dominance. Author talks about peaceful coexistence, harmony, and feeling of mutual security. So, definitely we can strike it off since it is something which is out of passage. Second says emergence of India as a global power, prioritizing the economic opportunities for India. So, these two options shall be eliminated very easily. Now, probably you can think of this, and one thing that we need to remember when we are going through passage, we are solving the questions, we have to look at the passage from the perspective of author, not our own. That means हमको emotional नहीं होना है, अपना जीके और अपना emotion नहीं लगाना है. अब emergence of India as a global power seems to be very catchy, but throughout the passage, my author is talking about coexistence, cooperation, and so on and so forth. So, the central theme should be A, not option C. Now, let's move ahead and look at the next question. My next question asks, which of the following can be inferred from the passage? Now, what do you understand by inferred? Inferred का simple meaning होता है something which is not written in the passage directly but can be derived or deduced from the passage and is not incorrect in the view of the passage. तो हर वो ऑप्शन जो पैसेज के हिसाब से गलत है उसको सबसे पहले एलिमिनेट कीजिएगा. दूसरा ऑप्शन जो आपको एलिमिनेट करना होता है वो होता है जो डायरेक्टली रिटन है, बट देयर इज अ कैच. समटाइम्स वी फील दैट दिस इज डायरेक्टली गिवन बिकॉज इट इज़ वेरी ऑब्वियस, बट वो डायरेक्टली लिखा नहीं होता है. इट हैज़ बीन चेंज्ड, रिफ्रेज्ड और समथिंग डन लाइक दैट. सो आपने इफ यू हैव टू बी वेरी सेफ ऑलवेज रिमेंबर इन्फरेंस क्वेश्चन को ट्रू एंड फॉल्स की तरह ट्रीट कीजिए. लास्ट में इफ यू आर स्टक बिटवीन टू ऑप्शन देन यू कैन प्रायोरिटाइज कौन सा डायरेक्टली लिखा है और कौन सा डिड्यूस्ड है. नाउ देयर इज नो नेक्सस बिटवीन कोऑपरेटिव एग्जिस्टेंस एंड इकोनॉमिक growth of the nation. Isn't it just opposite to the passage, since my passage talks about that if we live cooperatively together, we can grow economically as well as we can deal with diplomatic issues. So, this option should be eliminated. Next one says, unless India's region becomes more self-centered, India is unlikely to develop into more than a regional power. Again, it is talking about unless India becomes self-centered, but my passage talks about cooperation. So, this is also ruled out. Next is India can only become a great power if it works in isolation. Now, again, isolation is not on the cards. India cannot aspire to be a great power without the cooperation of neighbors. This is what the entire passage was trying to prove. So, this should be my answer. Now, you might have observed in inference, 3 of the options were contrary to the passage or false as per the given information of the passage. Now, next question says, if India has to fulfill its potential in the world, we have no choice but to live in peace with our neighbors in mutual security, harmony, and cooperation. In the context of the statement, which of the following strengthens the author's opinion? Now, this is a question of strengthening author's opinion, and author is of the opinion that India must maintain cooperation, harmony with its neighbors if India wants to grow. So, we have to look for the option which reinforces the same thing or which says the same thing. Any option which is contrary to it, which is tangentially touching it, should be ruled out. Peace and prosperity cannot work in consonance. If this be true, this probably will weaken my argument. So, this cannot be my answer. India should assert its might. If you are asserting your might over your neighbor, will it be called as peaceful coexistence or cooperation? Of course not, because you are trying to dominate. So, this is also wrong. C says peaceful coexistence with neighbors is the key to India's stellar growth. Yes, this could be, because this is saying the same thing. We will look at the last option. India can offer merit opportunities for its neighbors by working in seclusion. Again, this is seclusion. So, that is something which we need to eliminate. So, if you have paid attention, what has happened? Each and every question is connected to each other. If I am able to look at central idea, if I got the central idea correct, what I need to do? I need to recall that central idea when I am going for strengthening argument or weakening argument or inference question. So, everything revolves around central idea. So, my first and foremost duty, if I am going through any of the critical reasoning passage, is to understand the key idea of the passage. After understanding the key idea of the passage, I need to recall that key idea at the time of solving question of inference, strengthening, weakening, assumption, agree, disagree, true, false, everything, almost everything. And above all, I need to read question stem carefully, answer carefully, and I have to be selective about answer options, and I need to eliminate options rather than select options. I hope that you are able to understand how to solve a passage of critical reasoning. After this, just try one passage on your own and tell me how capable or how successful you have been in applying this strategy. And if you need any further help, just post a comment. Thank you.